Another sub-trend of the Climate Fund is energy efficiency. What is energy efficiency?
So energy efficiency is probably the most underappreciated area of the fund and underappreciated by the market in terms of the opportunity here. So when we're talking about energy efficiency, what we're talking about is this simple fact that most buildings in the world are creating 25% of emissions globally. And whether that's the corporate headquarters you work in or the school your children go to or the government buildings. And we've seen multiple policies now from corporates and from companies that are trying to get their buildings effectively to zero carbon buildings. And so this is very much a retrofit opportunity. It's a retrofit opportunity for the existing building stock that we have on the planet today. And so when we drill down on that opportunity and we look at it, there's a number of different categories that are obviously creating these emissions. Things like lighting, things like your computers and office equipment, and things like your cooking and refrigeration. But the biggest one is a thing called HVAC, your heating, ventilation and cooling. That's actually nearly 35% of a standard building or house's emissions. And so this is the one big area that we see a large retrofit opportunity. And so what we're looking at here is really an electrification of heat and cooling. And so while most air conditioning is electric, most heating isn't. Most heating either comes from gas heaters or from fuel oil heaters, etc. And what we see is that effectively moving to electric over time. And so this ultimately becomes a $350 billion opportunity as essentially these HVAC companies go through every building on the planet and install it with sensors. These sensors allow you to have the heating and cooling on at the right time. On top of that, they add software, and then finally they add the right equipment at the bottom. And so we see a long, effectively 8% revenue growth rate for these companies over the next 10 to 20 years. And that's really double what they did over the last 10 to 20 years. And it really gives you this wonderful 10 to 15% EPS compounding for these players that's really not reflected in their share prices today at all. The one we own in the fund today and the one we quite like is Trane Technologies, listed in the United States, a leader in this space, a green leader globally. And that's ultimately creating these heat pumps or this equipment changeover that we see, trading at roughly 30 times earnings, but as I said, 10 to 15% compound growth for a very long time to come. A really good quality compounder for the fund. The other great company that we like in this area would be Kingspan. Listed in Ireland, Kingspan is a leader of insulation products globally. Insulated panels that go on new build buildings, whether they're data centers or gigafactories that Tesla's building. And so what we find here is that every new building that goes up, the building regulations go up, i.e. the carbon intensity of the building has to go down. And the best way to fit within those regulations is to improve your insulation. When you want to improve your insulation, you go to Kingspan. This company is family run, listed in Ireland. We've known the company for a long time and known the management for a long time, and has this wonderful structural growth opportunity in front of it as insulation penetration continues to grow, not just in places like Australia and the United States, but also in emerging markets. And so this is a great company that wins from the building opportunity into the future, not the retrofit opportunity. And it makes up another, as I said, underappreciated but great part of this climate product that we're working on today.